Welcome back, everybody. Today we're taking a look at a super sexy little rifle from Wilson Combat. This is the Recon 308. This is one of the shorter models, and they make a few different lengths. We'll get into that later on in the video, but these are a relatively new offering in Wilson's lineup, so there's not really a ton of information out there on these rifles, so we're hoping to change that here with this review. But what we're going to do now is take a look at the accuracy you can get out of this rifle first off, because they do guarantee sub-minute angle groups from the rifle, so that's certainly an impressive thing, and we're going to step out to the range here and see if we can actually get that kind of accuracy out of this rifle. Time to see what kind of accuracy we can get out of it. Right now we just have some cheap PMC in there, full metal jacket stuff to see what kind of accuracy we can get out of that. Then we have some better match loads after that. Targets down range at 100 yards. We got the Vortex 6x18 scope on there, so plenty of magnification for what we're doing. And let's see what kind of results we get. Well, not too bad considering the load. Up next, we're going to have some Federal 175 grain Sierra Match King. This is actually the Federal load itself. We'll fire a few rounds of that. I always wonder what people must think when they drive by here. Oh well, it's when it's good to be in rural North Carolina. Alright, let's see what we can do with this stuff. I'd say it likes that ammo. Next up will be the Gorilla ammunition. This, I believe, is actually the same bullet. Yep, 175 grain Sierra Match King. I honestly don't have a large selection of 308 rounds, so at least not match stuff. So we'll try this stuff here. Gorilla ammunition, for those of you guys who watch the channel, has always been super accurate stuff, as has the Federal. So we will see. let's go check it out. As you guys already saw from the second camera, we had some pretty good accuracy results, as you'd expect from a Wilson Combat rifle. That PMC stuff actually didn't produce too bad of a group. We're at 1 1/4 inches there, 1 1/4 inches. These are inch squares, so it makes it pretty simple to guess. The Federal's right at 1/2 inch. All those rounds are touching. I mean, nothing you can do to complain about that. The Gorilla ammo is right at 3/4 of an inch. So, again, guys, with good ammo, this stuff's definitely a sub-MOA gun. Even with that shorter barrel, and I've explained this before in different videos, but shorter barrels within certain distances are generally actually going to be more accurate than longer barrels because they're going to have less flex and less width. So a lot of people will think, you know, your sub 16-inch barrels aren't going to have good accuracy. Well, that may be true as the bullets get further down range and they start to destabilize a little bit. But within 100 yards, especially in this caliber, there's absolutely no way that's even going to come into play at all. And generally speaking, those shorter barrels are even going to be more accurate than their longer counterparts. We'll start at the front of the gun and work our way back. Up front, we have the Accutac flash header on there. Does a good job at taming the muzzle flash, of course, coming out of a 14.7-inch barrel, which this one is. That's a pretty tough job to do with a .308 round, but it does a good job. And it's pinned on there to bring the overall length longer than 16 inches, so you don't have to do any NFA paperwork. Of course, Wilson makes these rifles in several different lengths, I believe all the way out to 20 inches. So there's different models, which we'll put a link below to Wilson Combat's page so you guys can check all those out and all the different .308 models that they do offer. The barrel itself is 416R stainless steel, and it's fluted, so you can check out the fluting there. It's extremely well done. It's just flawless in terms of machining, no getting around that. And fluting is going to lighten the barrel up a little bit more, and it's also going to give it greater surface area, so that way it'll actually cool faster as well. The handguard here is a 14-inch Wilson Combat trim rail. It's made from extruded aluminum, and as you can see there, it has these rail sections that you can screw in there and attach any sort of accessories, whether it be a vertical grip, light, whatever the case may be that you want to. Underneath there, you have your Wilson Combat low profile gas block, and on the rail itself, we also have these quick detach points on each side for mounting any sort of quick detach sling options on there. And all in all, it's just a very well finished rail. Looks pretty sleek, and it's a very solid platform for mounting any type of accessories. The bolt carrier group has an NP3 finish on all the parts. The bolt itself is made from 9310 steel. The carrier is made from 8620 steel. You can see there's staked down properly, the gas key is. And the extractor is made from S7 steel. S7 steel is making a lot of inroads in terms of bolt applications. I know Barrett just switched over to it for a lot of their 50 cal rifles, and some other AR manufacturers are starting to switch to it as well. So far, the results seem pretty good on that steel being used in the bolt components. Now, the bolt itself is batch tested HP and MPI, so that we're going to put a proof load through it, and then do the MPI testing to make sure there's no weaknesses that are exposed through that testing. The upper and lower receiver on this one are made from billet 7075 T6 aluminum. They do a hard coat anodizing on there, and then they actually finish it with the Wilson Combat Armor Tough finish. So it essentially has two different finishes on there. Very durable stuff. You can see I actually scratched up the rail at one point, but we certainly haven't managed to scratch the receivers, and I'm not exactly easy on guns, so they're doing really well. The receivers are made to fit any of your common SR25 type or DPMS type magazines, so you can see we've used it with PMags and Lancers, and other mags like that will work just fine. The mag well here, as you can see, has a really nice flare to it to allow for easy reloads. The trigger guard itself is really large and beefy if you take a look underneath there, which I definitely like. It's a very solid feel there, but yet still has room for gloves or anything like that if you're out there using it for hunting, maybe in the colder seasons. Of course, being a Wilson Combat gun, the machining is just fantastic on there. You can really see it has nice lines as they come together, and just it's flawless all the way around. You're not going to see any machine marks anywhere, and the way they fit together is perfect as well. So a lot of folks really kind of get worried about play between upper and lower receivers. Well, this one is machined so tight that really you're not going to have anything. I mean, I can move it. There's no way to wiggle it. And then additionally, when you run the bolt, like I was talking about earlier, it's super smooth. So I'm not sure if it'll translate on camera, but I'm going to run it so you can at least hear what it sounds like there. The bolt carrier group, as you guys just saw, is bone dry. So this is what it sounds like. You can see just super smooth all the way around. This gun ships out with a single stage 4-pound Wilson Combat TTU trigger. Now, breaks right at 4 pounds as you'd expect from the name, and has a really nice tactile and audible reset. Just an excellent trigger all the way around, which definitely aided in the accuracy that you guys saw out there. The grip itself is from BCM originally, and then obviously Wilson Combat modifies it, putting these lines in there as well as their logo. It looks really good, and it feels really good in the hand as well. The stock is the Wilson Rogers Super Stock. Now, I know this stock is sort of controversial out there, but it certainly works just fine on this rifle. Nice and lightweight, which is one thing that definitely helps. The rifle overall weighs in just over 8 pounds, 8.05 pounds unloaded and 9.5 pounds loaded. So it's a very lightweight little package. The stock certainly adds to that. It has a quick detach point here on the bottom, as well as several different sling attachment options if you want to use a standard sling. There's a couple other things I want to touch on before we close out the review here. First is going to be reliability. Now, this rifle here, when we first got it in, within like 100 rounds, started to have reliability issues. So immediately, obviously, I was concerned. I called Wilson Combat and talked to them, let them know what was going on. This is a test and evaluation rifle, so it's got to go back to Wilson Combat, unfortunately. But because it was a test and evaluation rifle, it had one of their early prototype barrels on it, not one that they send out, as a production model. So what we found out was the barrel extensions on those pre-production models were not good, and that's what was leading to the reliability issues. So they sent out an actual production barrel, which is what we have here, and which is what all the rifles are shipping with if you're actually to purchase one from their website. So they sent out a production barrel. Ever since then, the gun's been flawless. We've had zero reliability issues with it, shooting all different types of ammo. We've shot even cheap stuff like Brown Bear through it without issue. A bunch of the Freedom Munition stuff, obviously they're my ammo sponsor. A bunch of their 147 grain ammo, zero issues, as well as the match stuff that you guys saw during the accuracy testing. So with the production barrel in there, it's been flawless. So happy to report that. Price, Wilson Combat stuff obviously has a reputation for being of the highest quality in this rifle. I think, as you guys have probably seen throughout the review, I've started to kind of notice that fit, finish, all that stuff, features have been awesome, really are top of the line, and the price reflects that. So this one comes to market right at $2,999. So it's certainly relatively expensive, but the performance really is there with it. The fit and finish is there for folks who are in the market for a high-end AR-10 pattern rifle. It's not for everybody, no getting around it, just like their 1911s aren't for everybody, but it really is a great gun, and I wish I could keep it. If you guys have any questions about this gun or anything I covered in the review or didn't cover in the review, you can always post below in the comment section. You can also post over at my Facebook page as always. But thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for subscribing, and I hope to see you in the next video.
Oh, that's fun. I would have thought that the shorter barrel would have been pushing me around a lot more. It's not a very heavy gun at all. But that's the first time I actually shot an AR-10, SR-25, whatever you want to call it, that wasn't sitting down on a bipod, and it's a lot more manageable than you might think.